Charlie Kirk Eulogy 1. Prologue. It is difficult to measure someone's greatness when they have not yet reached the dunes of life, yet despite only 3 decades of his life, Charlie Kirk managed to achieve what most could only hope to accomplish in a lifetime. We have here a free and a relentless spirit who, at the age of 18, co-founded Turning Point USA, organized a nationwide youth conservative convention, published multiple books, ran his own media, and walked with the presidents of the United States. We have here a man, a father, a role model that arrests the spirits of millions. It is a tragedy that he died before his time. 2. Beginning. Charlie Kirk was born on October 14, 1993, in Arlington Heights, Illinois. He was raised in a middle-class family, the father and mother having a liking for capitalism and still a conservative value in him, which connoted his love for the free market and America. It was at an early age when his outstanding character and courage was noticed. At school, he would tire himself out in a student's organization of political activity. He volunteered for Mark Kirk, an attorney and a former United States Senator. It is a rarity to have a liking for politics at such a young age. He enrolled at Baylor University for a time. This experience was cut short as he was called out again to his passions of political activism. However brief this experience was, it was perhaps one of the most important events of his life. It was perhaps during this time that he modeled his judgment and thought regarding public education at university. Public education, he thought, is a scam. It costs too much and is deficient in preparing the young for the future. He instead focused full time on political activism, which was to be the greatest decisions of his life. 3. Turning Point. In 2012, he gained noticeable attention with his essay for Breitbart News about the liberal bias school textbook. He must have had a liking for reading as to have noticed this conundrum. It would have required careful examinations of multiple textbooks, which require great deals of time and patience. And there must have been some truth in this essay so as to have gained the attentions of the mainstream media. At 18, he co-founded Turning Point USA with Bill Montgomery. The goals of the organization was to promote conservative value, free market, and the goods of limited government. The core audience was with youth on high school or college campuses, as they are the most subjected to the bias of liberal ideology. Within a few years, they rapidly grew the organization to 100 campuses across the United States. With all the trials and tribulations, the organization built itself and is known for advocacies, conferences, and campaigns which push back against Professor Who and still a radical leftist value. Kirk gained his prominence in conservative media with his frequent appearances on Fox News, where he discussed cultural and political issues. He also became an active speaker at conservative conferences, including the Conservative Political Action Conferences. His other notable achievements is hosting the Charlie Kirk Show, where he conversed with public figures or commentators, wrote 3 books, and expanded his network to include the presidents of the United States, Donald Trump. Strange to say that his greatest acts of engagement with the youth isn't with his podcasts or media appearances. It is a simpler method which involves a table and 2 microphones. This format is appropriately dubbed the Prove Me Wrong table. Charlie Kirk would sit at a table and engage in a face-to-face discussion with a university student, professors, or anybody that's willing to engage. The opposition would challenge his view concerning the topic, and he would defend his claim with great patience and grace. This method beauty is in its simplicity. It could be easily arranged, as Charlie Kirk implemented more than a dozen times a year. The topic ranged from LGBT, abortion, immigration, gun control, and even breakfast preferences. The significance of this act is to promote the importance of civil discussion and the significance of free speech and the necessities of courage when defending your belief. It is with this that Charlie Kirk will forever be remembered. 4. Comedy and romance. Here we have a models of a great man and able. Most of his early adulthood was spent working, writing, talking in conferences or on television and debating. It is difficult to imagine anybody with this routine to have any episodes of comedy. However, this was so. A video was shared by his friend Kenneth Owen showing them dancing, singing, laughing at themselves. Life is too short without comedy. Another event which matured his character was meeting Erica, a podcast and former beauty queen. The first meeting is a modus of comic relief. Charlie Kirk fancying Erica sent her a message on Instagram. The objective was a job interview for a position at Turning Point USA. They meet up for burgers and discuss various topics which include the Greek sage, theologies, careers, and future aspiration. About 15 minutes in, Charlie pivoted from wanting to hire her to wanting to date her. He called his business partners to inform him to find talent somewhere else, as the initial plans of a job interview was shifted. His business partner, like a good friend, told him that she was out of his league. Near the end of the meeting, he summoned the curse to ask her out. She replied calmly that they should start out by being friends. To which he replied with forwardness similar to Diogenes to Alexander, that he has enough friend. Erica, being taken aback by the response, asked him if she had time to think about it, to which he replied that she has until tomorrow when he take her out for dinner. The date for Thompson got engaged during a photo shoot in November and continued their adventures with 2 rings. We must not judge too harshly of their approach to love. The evasiveness and forwardness attitude taken here is not without its merit. We take it for granted that the values of approaching a relationship with less contemplation and more verbal communication. If the initial attraction is there, the stepping stones of love will be built with time. The more time you spend together, the more you're exposed to the flaws and deficiencies in each other, and finally you will learn to accept it, and love is achieved. Marriage does not flower out of love, love flower out of marriages. It is when the two became one, and when the he and she became we and us. 5. Legacy. In 2024, he eagerly asked Donald Trump if he could join the campaign. He knew that the election participants lacked the involvement of the youth. Thus, he was handed the task of getting voter turnovers for students on college campuses. The approach was simple. The liking and support for Donald Trump was evident. However, just because you verbalize your support, it doesn't imply that you have casted a ballot or voted. The objective was to get the supporters to the ballot box. After hundreds and thousands of iterations, the voter turnout accumulated, and on election night in November, Trump was announced the 47th president of the United States. This victory moved Charlie to tears. However, he understands that this is only the beginning of the fight against the radical leftist ideology. He continued to host his show, speak about the current spirits of events or politics, and engage in live debate on college campuses. On September 10, he hosted a debate at Utah Valley University as his America Comeback Tour. During the events, he was shot and killed while addressing the audience. He was only 31 years old. It is a tragedy that we live in a time where the cost of civil discussion is your life.